Mr. Amol Arte examines India's visioning contest for the 50th anniversary of King Edward High School. The man takes the stage to raise the students' team spirit and motivate them to keep moving toward the future. He highlights a special exhibit that got him thinking. A white globe, denoting the rule of the entire planet as its home. The creator of such an interesting object becomes the boy Oro, a boy imprisoned in the body of an old man. The school residence invites the boy to the stage, after which it rewards him. What happened earlier makes Amol wonder, for he has rarely encountered such a disease. Oro burrows into bed, and refuses to eat dinner. The annoying soup for the sick turns out to be a routine meal for the boy. Vidya, the boy's mother, discovers that Oro has won an exhibit contest. The boy stole an old globe from the back room, and painted it with white paint, with no intention of winning. Later, Oro went to the bathroom, but came back a winner. A serious illness prevents him from eating spicy food, so the boy asks for a pickle for his mother's supper. He understands that the family cares for the sick boy, so he tries to repay the favor. An evening newscast shocks the woman. She recognizes an old acquaintance, Amol Arte, whom she ran into on the streets of the city. It turns out that during their college days, the sweet couple dated, and spent time together all the time. In his younger years, the guy was very impetuous, and wanted to develop in the political sphere. Vidya's pregnancy was absolutely not part of his plans, because after completing his courses, Amol planned to return home. All plans could have been ruined in the blink of an eye, but the guy offered to give up the baby. Apparently, Amol denied a family life, and child confinement was an execution for him. Vidya refuses to listen to the guy, and decides to separate. Upon returning home, the girl's mother supports the pregnancy in every way possible, and Vidya keeps the baby. Amol Arte despairs of finding her beloved, and constantly wanders the streets, remembering moments together. The girl cuts all the wires, and completely disappears from the life of the future politician. Vidya continues to study hard, and develop on her own. Together with her mother, the women conduct spiritual practices, and exercise in the outdoors. The child's development deteriorates rapidly, which causes progeria, rapid aging of the body. For months, the girl tracks in detail, and studies into the proper upbringing of a child with a rare defect. After the birth of little Oro, the girl spends all her free time with her son. They are constantly walking in the parks, buy interesting toys, and develop. The distraught girl realizes that at today's award ceremony, Oro shook his own father's hand. City reporters try to break into the school grounds for an important interview with little Oro. The principal summons the boy to apologize for investigative journalism. Together with his mother, the family returns home. In the evening, the boy hacks into the deputy's mail, and keeps track of the letters sent. He leaves an angry letter where he is angry for violating his peace of mind. In math class, Oro laughs at the boy standing at the blackboard. Later, little Oro starts coughing a lot, which bothers the class teacher, and the rest of the school. At recess, the boy is called to the principal's office. Oro receives a phone call from a strange deputy. Amol Arte has read the letter the boy sent, and was about to apologize for the journalists. He has received permission to prohibit the harassment of Oro, so the boy's family can no longer worry. The father discovers that Amol has been bribed by construction workers who are mercilessly building up the city's land. The boy explains that there are corrupt officials among the builders who bribe the manager with a large sum of money. Amol Arte ceremoniously cuts the red ribbon, inaugurating the new construction. Oro tries to find out why people walk in strange circles. It turns out that walking around a campfire obliges families to start a life together. After the conversation, Oro quickly runs off to the bathroom. Amol checks his mail, and again notices a message from the boy. They connect via video link, where they arrange a trip to the presidential palace. Vidya notices the video call with the deputy, and gets very upset. She refuses to go to the presidential palace, after which she quickly leaves. The video call ends, and little Oro is sent to bed. Amol decides to do many noble things. The man moves refugees into comfortable hostels, deals with the dirty streets, and helps the people's environment. A few days later, Oro is about to head to the presidential palace. Together with his grandmother, the family goes shopping. Each day, little Oro crosses off the remaining days to the cherished trip with the deputy. At night, the city's power goes out, causing the people's meetings to revolt. News reports spread information about illegal settlements of homeless residents. The government denies its mistakes, and tries to cover up other social problems. The mother forbids Oro to leave, and asks to send a letter to the deputy. She tries to confess what happened, but leaves her son behind. All the news magazines are filled with information about Amol Arte's betrayal. During social problems, the deputy relaxes by the pool. All the national channels are scattered with propaganda about the corrupt deeds of the famous deputy. The city is buzzing with political information while a mole plays quietly on the golf course. Poor Oro realizes that the deputy will not take him to the presidential palace. He sits practically until evening, but the deputy's car does not arrive. The evening newscast airs a report by Amol Arte, where the man repents of his deadly sins. On national channel, the interviewer learns that a group of homeless people have taken over the homes of celebrities. A strange mob of homeless people smashes up the property of journalists, where a violent riot ensues. The problem of modernity is the fact that homeless people occupy a large part of the population. Now, people have no place to live, and are determined to rob journalists' homes. The security services leave, after which, a few minutes later, the homeless take over 3 houses. It turns out that the crowds of homeless people attacking the houses of journalists was Amol Arte's idea. In this way, the man wanted to show the real problems, in reality. This act really deserves the respect of the people, so the corrupt criminal is forgiven. The next day, the principal gives Oro an apology from the deputy. The schoolchildren reassure the boy, because they are going to go away together in the summer. He closes himself off, and does not make contact until the evening. The grandmother tries to lure Oro into the room to talk to the deputy, but the boy refuses. In the evening, Oro goes out to eat dinner and becomes interested in a new game. The grandmother again tries to talk to Vidya to tell the truth to the boy. The schoolchildren spend time at the baseball field. Oro notices a cheated friend, and comes out to play. A few of the boys' throws turn out to be winners, so Oro takes important positions. Moments later, the kid falls to the ground, after which he ends up in the medical room. The doctor informs his mother that little Oro does not have long to live, so he suggests that he switch to homeschooling. The woman refuses the strange suggestion, as the boy loves going to school. Vidya congratulates the boy on his birthday, and presents a photo with the deputy. The woman admits that Amol Arte is his birth father. This gift disturbed the little boy, because the family secret turned out to be very painful. Returning home, the boy again writes to the deputy. The mother did not go through sacred circles, so Oro doubts the truthfulness of the words. The boy recognizes all the traits his friend has in common with his father, and tries to find them in the deputy. The boy receives a call from Amol Arte, who again calls Oro to Delhi. He promises that he will pick the boy up after school. After lunch, a driver pulls up to pick up Oro. The boy refuses to get into another car, and continues on his usual arrangement. Once on the plane, the boy waits for Arte, and they move on to Delhi. Upon arrival, the boys check into the hotel. The family dines at a restaurant, where the boy contacts Vidya. The deputy is completely unaware of the boy's family ties, so he asks about his father. On the way to the palace, Oro comes to his senses and asks to return to the hotel. This decision shocks Amol Arte, and the man becomes upset. Oro enters the deputy's room, and sets himself up to tell the whole truth. He asks to speak out to the man, but only agrees to do so on the subway, without bodyguards. While on the subway, Oro deflects the topic of conversation as much as possible with silly questions. He admits that he took the bodyguards with them, because he cannot call a mole to die. The guy does not find the strength to tell the whole truth, because of which, he begins to see his mother. Together with the bodyguards, Oro begins to dance quickly. The family walks through beautiful mountain vistas where Oro again sees his mother. Near the mountains, a homeless man fulfills his needs. The government has put bio toilets everywhere, but homeless people continue to go to the bathroom on the streets. The guys head home, where a mole keeps guessing about his mistakes. In the cockpit of the plane, Oro again refuses to tell the truth. He goes over all the possibilities, and tries to find common character traits. The family arrives home, where Oro immediately leaves in his car. The women inquire about his condition, and make sure that the trip went well. A mole is resting on a recliner when his father approaches him. The man suggests that he should think about his children instead of running after other people's schoolchildren. Back at school, Oro takes up sports activities again. Overexertion and fatigue cause the boy to pass out and go to the hospital. His grandmother cries over the medical bed, as she worries about Oro's health. At this time, the deputy enjoys a celebrity reunion. He calls Oro's family to inquire about his well-being. After the bad news, the politician immediately heads to the little boy. In the hospital room, the family truth is revealed. A mole recognizes an ex-girlfriend, a situation that shocks both of them. The couple talk about the situation, and try to help little Oro. Mr. Arte discovers that his son has not been home for the night. The man arrives at the hospital room, where he discovers he has a grandson. At this time, little Oro regains consciousness. Mr. Arte comes into shock, for the sick boy cannot be a mole's son. The days spent in the hospital pass unnoticed. The news channels overflow with the shocking news of Amol Arte's son. He apologizes to Vidya, and tries to start over. The girl is discouraged, and is not going to continue the old relationship. A mole admits to reporters that he is happy to have such a son. He is proud of little Oro, and considers him a role model. In a television report, the man apologizes again, and invites Vidya to marry. The girl begins to avoid the deputy, and refuses to meet. Mr. Arte meets his little grandson, and accepts his existence. The boy drives the strange grandfather away, and asks to be left alone. Amol and his ex-girlfriend head home. Vidya continues to ignore the man, much to his dismay. In the morning, the girl notices a car parked near the fence where the driver and Amol are sleeping. It turns out that the man never went home, and has been waiting for Vidya all night. She invites Amol home, where the man looks at the apartment, and standing pictures. The girl does not break through her soul, and asks Amol to leave sooner. They meet again at the hospital, where Oro tries to find out about the couple's relationship. The boy screams, and asks the young parents to hold hands. Heartbreak, the patient's condition is greatly affected, causing the boy to have a stroke. After recovery, and rehabilitation, schoolchildren come to support little Oro. The girl brings him an interesting drawing, after which she apologizes to her classmate. As they leave, Oro asks to cross his parents' arms, which they successfully do. This sight pleases the child, but it soon gets worse. The outcome of the film ends tragically, with the death of little Oro. The desperate parents sit in the pouring rain and try to accept the loss.